Hello everyone, welcome to this video. My name is Hitesh and I handle developer relations at QuickBlox. In this video, we will see how we can configure and use AI Translate feature with our Android UI Kit. Now before getting started, let's understand about the feature first. AI Translate helps you connect and communicate across the globe without any language barriers. With support for over 80 languages, this is the perfect feature to connect with people across different regions of the world. Now without any further delay, let's get started. So first up on the screen, we have the documentation open for AI Translate feature. We have a little video here which shows how this feature can improve your conversations by providing AI powered translations. Scrolling a little bit down, we have a how to use guide which shows how you can implement this AI Translate library into your Android applications. Scrolling further down, we have the ways in which we can utilize this feature. There are two ways to consume this feature, either directly by using your OpenAI token or by using the QuickBlox proxy server. Now it's also worth noticing here that using the proxy server is the safe approach as it hides your OpenAI token and makes the whole setup more secure. So we recommend using the proxy server approach in your production environment. Now to get started, you first of all need a QuickBlox account. Now don't worry if you do not have an account yet, you can simply head over to quickblocks.com and sign up for a new account. Once you have a QuickBlox account, you can head over to admin dashboard, followed by the link admin.quickblocks.com and create a new application. Now creating a new application is fairly simple. You just have to click on this new app button and fill out a couple of fields and your application will be created. Now since I already have some applications, I'm going to use one of them. For this video, I'm going to use Friends Chat application. Opening this application, we can see the application credentials listed out here. These credentials will be used in the later stage of the video, where we will connect our Android application to the QuickBlox server. Now for this video, we will take the Android UI Kit sample application as the starting point because it contains all the boilerplate application code that we require. Now Android UI Kit sample project can be found under the QuickBlox Android SDK repository, link to which will be provided in the description section of this video. Now to clone this repository, we simply head over to code button and we can write the git clone command in our terminal followed by this link, or we can use the download zip button. Either ways, once we clone or download the code base, we will have a folder like this. Here we can see we have the Android UI Kit sample project here. Now we can open it in any IDE of our choice. For this video, we are going to use Android Studio IDE. So let's open this project in the Android Studio. Now once we open the project in Android Studio, we need to head over to app.kt file. Here we can see we have the empty fields to fill in the credentials of the application. These credentials will be used to communicate between the Android application and the QuickBlox servers. So let's quickly paste the credentials that we copied. After pasting these credentials, our application is now ready to be configured for AI Translate feature. Now let's see both the ways one by one. First, we will see the direct way in which we will configure this AI Translate feature directly using our OpenAI token. So for that, let's head over to loginactivity.kt file. In login activity KT file, you can see we have quite some boilerplate code, which is used for signing in, signing up, and all those things. Now at the bottom, we have a method which is to initialize and show the QuickBlox UI Kit, which is named as init and show QB UI Kit. Here we are initializing the QuickBlox UI Kit and then showing the dialogues activity. Now before showing the dialogues activity, we can configure our AI Translate feature. To do so, we just simply need to write QuickBlox UI Kit enable AI Translate with OpenAI token. Now this requires us to pass the OpenAI token. Let's quickly see where can we find our OpenAI token. To find our OpenAI token, we need to head back to our Chrome window and open a new tab with an address platform.openai.com/account/API keys. Now after heading to this OpenAI website, We can see this in the API keys section that we have ability to create a new API key. We can simply put a name here and click on create secret key and it will create the secret and show it to you. Now, since I already have some secret keys, I'm going to utilize one of them. Now let's head back to our Android Studio and paste the key there. Now, after coming back to the Android Studio, let's quickly paste our OpenAI key here. And you will be surprised to know that this is pretty much it. Now we have successfully configured our AI Translate feature using OpenAI token. Now let's see how this looks and works in action. So I'm going to quickly compile this application and fire up my Android emulator here. Now I have my Android emulator up and running. I'm going to quickly sign in with my credentials here. After signing in, it will load all my conversations. Now let's open a conversation. So I'm going to open the conversation with Stan here. I remember I asked Stan to provide me a way by which we can create a pull request on GitHub. Now let's see what he replied. So Stan has replied in some language that I do not understand. But since I already have the AI translate ability, let's translate them quickly. Okay, I can now understand them. So Stan has provided me with the procedure here. So let's quickly translate the procedure as well. And you can see it worked. It provided me the translated response. Now all these steps are clear to me and I can do whatever I want. Now let's see the second way where we will utilize the QuickBlox proxy server in order to configure AI translate feature. Now, first of all, we need to configure and set up the proxy server. To do so, we need to head over to the QB AI Assistant proxy server repository and we need to clone the code base. We can do so by following the same procedure of writing the git clone command followed by this URL, or we can do so by clicking the download zip button. Either ways, once we are ready with the clone code, we will have a folder like this. Now we need to open this folder in our code editor. For this video, we are going to use Visual Studio Code Editor. Let's open it. Now, after opening the project in the VS Code Editor, we need to simply run the command npm install in order to install the dependencies. Now, depending upon your internet speed, it might take a while. So let's wait for this to complete. Once this is complete, now let's set up quickly the proxy server. To do so, we first of all need to rename this file .env.example to just call it .env. Now we need to head over to .env and now let's understand about these different fields. So the host field here represents the address of the machine on which this server is running. The port here represents the port number on which the server will be running. The QuickBlox API URL is the API URL basically. OpenAI key represents your OpenAI token, and these SSL key file and SSL certificate file are used when you want to use the HTTPS connection. Now, since we are in the development environment, we'll be going with the HTTP connection. So we don't need the SSL key and the SSL certificate file. But make sure when you are in the production environment to set up these files properly with the SSL certificates so that the setup is more secure. Now let's quickly modify these values with our own values. Let's replace the host parameter with our address of this machine. Now let's replace the OpenAI key parameter with our OpenAI key. Now after doing that, let's run the command npm start in order to test whether our server is working or not. So we can see that our server is running at port 3000. This is a green flag for us that our server is configured and it is running at the desired port. Now let's head back to our Android Studio and configure the AI Translate using this proxy server. Now in the Android Studio, let's delete this line. Now let's configure this AI Translate feature using the proxy server. For that, we just need to write enable AI Translate with proxy server. Now here we need to pass the proxy server URL. So let's paste it. And that is pretty much it. Now let's see how this works and looks like in action. So I'm going to quickly compile and run this application on my Android emulator. Now I have my Android emulator up and running. So let's open the conversation with Stan. Now here let's try to translate these messages again. As you can see, we have got the response. Let's also try to translate this other message. And it's done. You can see that it worked pretty well. Now let's see how we can change the language of the translation. By default, our UI kit detects the language of the device and sets it as the default language for the library. But if we want to change the translation to some other language, we can simply do so by calling this method QuickBlox UI Kit dot setup language to AI translate. Now this method takes an enum, which is languages. Here we can select the languages from the provided ones. We have support for over 80 languages. We can simply choose one. So for example, let me choose Hindi language here. And now let's see how this works in action. Now here I have my Android emulator up and running again. So let's open the conversation again. Now in this conversation, let's try to translate this text. And it's done. You can see it has translated it pretty well. Now, even if you are not a native Hindi speaker, believe me on this, it worked pretty well. And the translation that it provided is pretty much accurate. With that, we bring this video to a close. I hope you found this tutorial informative and gained some valuable insights into implementing AI translate feature with our Android UI kit. If you have any questions or require any further assistance, please feel free to leave a comment below and we'll be more than happy to help you out. Thanks for watching and subscribe to our channel for more exciting updates and tutorials. Until next time, happy coding.